Hey guys, Kev here, and I want to do a disassembly of the Giantmouse knives Ace Rio. And I just did the unboxing for the Rio and the Iona here. And I realized something. And I'll probably bring this up again in the reviews, because I'm going to do, I think, dedicated reviews for each one of these. The one thing you did not hear me mention whatsoever in that unboxing is lock bar access. So it looks like they're listening, and they have taken notice and are giving us a little better lock bar access, which is pretty cool. So I wanted to take apart the Rio here. I don't think I need to take apart the Iona V2 because it's on washers, and you know, I think those are just going to break in differently. It's just going to take a little bit of time, and I think just carry use, that kind of stuff, is going to be the way to go on this bad boy. Where this, I think, I can take apart and kind of clean their lube out, put in my own, and I also want to see if I can get it centered because it came off center, which is pretty normal for Italy, honestly, but maybe a disassembly, reassembly will help in some way. We'll see. I love the action on it, and I'm curious to see what's inside. I did do a little research, and I did find out this is made in Italy, and I believe it's made by Lion Steel, which I think is different than other Italian giant mice. I think others were made by Fox, but I could be wrong. We know they're all kind of conglomerate, but that could be why I feel a difference in quality. This one just feels way better than anything I've had before from Giantmouse out of Italy. And I love the Atelier, or whatever you want to call it, but this one just really speaks to me. So anyway, we have a spinning pivot situation, so this will give us a chance to utilize our awesome Skiff Workshop finger bit, which is one of the best products of 2023. Very cool design from the Skiff Workshop, and basically it's a little driver that you can hold like this and really lock into place, so it makes it easy to disassemble your knife. It looks like another thing I'm noticing here. I'm going to grab my other driver, which is an Audacious Concepts driver. Another thing I'm noticing is it looks like we are rocking all T8s. All T8s, at least on the outside. Let's look at the Iona V2. T8. T8. Yeah. At least externally, we have all T8s on these knives. Very cool to see that. Giantmouse is listening, guys. I think they just have massive orders in, and it took time for them to implement the things we wanted. It felt like years, but, you know, to them, maybe they had these orders in a year in advance or whatever, and they're finally able to catch up and get those things taken care of. So that's really cool to see. If you guys aren't aware, I do have a discount code for Giantmouse. So you can go to their website. Link down below is my affiliate link to Giantmouse, and you can use my code LeftyEDC. That'll save you $5 off your purchase. I think it might be your first purchase, but it could be any purchase. I know it's not a lot, but it's something, and it helps the channel out, so we both kind of benefit. But yeah, I can say right away that I highly recommend the Rio. This might be my favorite Giantmouse. I love the Riv, but I need to try a Riv liner lock before I declare it to be better. This is fantastic. It really is. So let's see how we're constructed here. We have the clip screw, which, by the way, was so easy to swap over. Took me 2 seconds. So we have a scale here. I'm going to try to keep that clip in there if possible. So we have a scale here. Look at that. Look at that denim micarta. That's crazy looking under there. It's like a sheet, like glue sheet. That's crazy. Very, very cool. I love this micarta. And then we have more screws down here. So it does look like we're going to end up switching over to a T6. So I'm going to grab another driver. Grab my Audacious Concepts V5 knife tool, which I also love. Still waiting on the tool for this. But other than that, it's fantastic. Be careful, blade is exposed now. And it looks like we have a T6 down in here. So we'll take that apart as well. And now it should just pop off. Looks like I might need a pry tool. Also linked down in the description is going to be all of my disassembly tools. So any driver that I have that you can get, I'm going to start adding this guy down there as well. I need to remember to do that. We can get this at Skiff, and a link to Skiff is always down in the description because I have a discount code LeftyEDC that will get you 10% off cage bearings, the bearing fit card, and the finger bit. And this is only 20 bucks, by the way, in aluminum. Which I think is pretty damn affordable. And I also have Amazon link to these pry tools. I got these for my truck dash, but it works so well on knives. I mean, it saves you such heartache with your freaking fingers. So here's the steel liner. Again, steel. And I've confirmed with somebody who took one of these apart already that we have steel bearings here. So these are steel cage, but you will notice there is a multi-row system, which is pretty dang cool. These are absolutely minuscule, so they must be 1mm bearings. And there's our blade. And then down in here, LSK Italy. That's how I was saying lion steel, because the dude I know who took it apart showed me, which is very cool. And that, I think, would stand for lion steel knives, but I can't be sure. And then Giantmouse, Vox, and so very cool. So we'll take that other bearing off. Here's our stop pin. Gonna be careful because there's another pin up here. I don't want to mix those up. So this this pivot is not wanting to come out, which is interesting. I just want to get the bearing off, really. Okay, there we go. Pivot's fine where it is. Spinning pivot, tooling on both sides, so you know, no real reason to take it out. Would be nice if it could rotate a little, but backspacer's like tiny back here, but interesting construction. I like it. It works, and it's clean. Yeah, look how nicely yeah, I don't know what you would call it, buffed or whatever the lock bar face is. They did a great job on that. Usually it's a bit rough, and then you know we have lock stick or whatever. We do not have what you usually see on a nice Italian knife is a nice big white ceramic detent ball. We don't have that. We have a steel ball there, which is interesting. So not much going on in here, and there's not much lube in here either. So let me grab a cloth and we can clean some stuff up. I need to remember to try to grab a thumbnail shot of the knife disassembled, because I do think that's always nice to have. So let's clean this stuff up. Clean the bearings. They look really tiny and interesting. I don't think I can swap them, because I don't know if I have anything like this from Skiff or anybody else. Well, we'll see. Might not be multi-row, which would throw things off, right? Here's that pin. I'm going to go ahead and put that bad boy right back in so I don't lose it. There we go. All right, so let's grab a picture real quick. I guess we can take it like this, right? And we'll put this liner back in, I guess. I just like to get a cool picture when I can. And then there's some hardware. Boom. And I'm still zoomed in, sorry guys. So right there, we'll take that pic, zoom down, boom. All right, cool. And we're back, sorry. All right, so let's take a look at the bearings, see what we got. I'll grab the card so we can make it easy on ourselves. I'm gonna go ahead and guess it's 1mm balls. Yep, so we have 1mm balls, and then we're gonna have, I believe, a 5mm pivot. If I can get this guy in the right angle here. I mean, we can see that that's not fitting the 3/16, and it's clearly gonna pop in there. So 5mm, 1mm. Ah, man, what do I have in 5mm, 1mm? Let's take a look. Not much is the answer to that question. Have a lot of bearings, but let's see what we got. So these are all 5mm, 1/16 standard stuff. These are larger size, multi-row, tiny guys. These are the 5mm 3/64, very popular these days, but some 3/16, or no, some more 1/16, 5 millimeters. Okay, we have nothing that small here because honestly, I never need 1 millimeters anymore. Ever since those 3/16 came out, or 3/64 came out, haven't needed them. Man, what a mess. But I do have another bag of bearings of stuff that I just don't use a lot. So let's see what we have in here. I just don't think I have multi-row 1 millimeters. So here's some small ones, but they're going to be too small overall, too small. Bunch of random stuff. Random. Okay, got it. Too small. These are actually, I think, 5 millimeter multi-rows. So those would be great, but they're too thick. We have washers. Oh, the 1/4 inch 1 millimeter. So not multi-row and the wrong size. And yeah, so here I have 5 millimeter 1 millimeter. But I mean, we'd be sacrificing a boatload of size, right? You'd be looking at that. I don't know if that makes sense. I mean, it would probably work, but like, why? You know, just to get away from the steel. I just don't think that's worth it. I kind of want to try it just to see if it would work, you know. But I feel like you're going to lose some of that lateral strength, and it might screw things up. But if you guys want to give it a shot, we can give it a shot. Oop. Man, you can't even feel the 1 millimeters like rolling. Usually you can feel them like in your hand, you know. But because they're so damn small, the only knife that I've really used 1 millimeters on before is the 80-20.5s. Those come with 6 millimeter, 1 millimeter. It's a very awkward size. But let's see what we can do here. So I'm just going to take these and clean them. They've definitely spent some time patinaing, but that's okay. It's phosphor bronze cage, so it's not a big deal. And I do want to clean the pivot screw. You can see that's caked on there. Hope you guys are all doing well. Got a lot of shit off of there, which is good. Yeah, there was a chunk of something on the end there. I had to break off. Always, look at that tooling. Hell yeah. Fucking rocking, Giantmouse. Always clean your pivot screw and your pivot. So I lay it over the pivot and then I drive it through like so. Just twist it in there. Try to clean everything I can out of this business. Because there's going to be that Loctite in there too, right? And then just to be safe, I'm going to take this T6 as well because it's smaller. I can drive that in a little further. All right, I think we're good there. So just as a test here, we're going to drop those 5 mils in. See what happens. Probably not the best idea. But, you know, I just want to see for science how well it works. Because in theory, it should work. Just, you know, it's not going to be great. Just trying to lube these up. I do feel the balls rolling a little bit. That's what she said. All right. I need to clean off this blade. I don't think I did that. Yeah, I definitely didn't. Nice. Smart. Clean off the lock face. All right. So we'll just drop this bad boy on. We'll take this bad boy. Drop it on. Yeah, I always hate doing it this way. But, oops. But sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, right? This is interesting. Let's see if closing it helps our situation. Not really. Come on, get over there, big boy. All right. There we go. Let's just see what happens. So, pivot screw. Come on. There we go. I don't need to go too far here. What do I have? Oh, shit. I almost just want to see if it works first. But we have that problem. I know that that liner screw is not in, but it's just a test here. Oh, shit. No play. No rock. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Okay, hang on. Might be sticking with skiffs in this bad boy. Alright. I need to take that off. I need to put this screw in. I mean, if... I was going to say if the glove fits, I quit, but that's not the saying. The glove don't fit, I quit. Whoops. Alright, so this screw goes here with the T8. Nice titanium screw there, too. Really digging the construction on this thing. Nice screws. The pivot. We're gonna have to glue it, but first let's just see. Oh, the clip. Whoops. I could also Loctite it for those of you cringing at home right now. You guys love my use of super glue, usually. Okay, so trying to work out centering. So we don't have any play of any kind. That feels good. I didn't put any oil on the detent ball, unfortunately. I forgot. A little bit of play there. Great action. And it's close to centered, but that's how it was, man. I mean, the centering was just bad on this knife, and I think that's just how it's going to be. No play, maybe a little. Yeah, look at that action. Trying to see if there's any downsides to using those bearings. Lockup looks good. No play. No failure. Dropping to my nail. I mean, is it better? I don't know. I sure like the fact that skiffs are in there, though, versus steel balls, you know what I mean? And I'm not losing anything, so... Oops. Detent is on the lighter side on this knife, but somehow the angle of the hole really works with the reverse flick, so I don't really care. But yeah, I mean, retention's good too. It's just, you know. I don't think the centering is worse or better, so let's see if I crank it a little bit, what happens. Just tightened it down. Now there's no play at all. Now it's not free dropping. So if I back off a little bit, maybe the smidgen of play, but probably what was there before, because I kind of remember that. It's the kind, like, if you do this, nothing, nothing, nothing. If I do that, kind of get a little bit. So I think it's fine. I think I'm going to leave these in here because I have them in here. That's really my reason. So, glue. I just have to get it right, you know. Can't mess this one up. So, try to keep it simple. I don't want to put too much Sharpie on a micarta scale. So let's just drive it back in, see if we line that up. Centering looks better, actually. Yeah, you get that little bit of play, but not really. Nice action. Okay. All right, ladies and gents, here we go. The moment of stupidity is upon us. Let's give it a shot. Went a little bit tighter. Try to get a little more of that play out. Yeah, I think we're good. Centering still solid. I mean, where it was. That tip, yeah, that tip is close. I mean, I can, that's me grabbing it right there, but I mean, it's kind of tucked away. It might be the one thing I would complain about. But I mean, you would really have to try. Like right there, I'm getting it. Honestly, there's just too big of a gap between the end of the handle and the blade. If that gap were closer, you wouldn't even be able to get in there. But because it's kind of got not great blade to handle ratio, you can, you know what I mean? Not a big deal. I don't think you would ever accidentally get to that, you know what I mean? So there we go. That's the Ace Rio disassembly, reassembly, and Skiff bearing swap. We did fit 5mm, 1mm Skiff bearings in there. They should be on the website. If you are interested, you can pick them up. Use my code Lefty10 over there, or LeftyEDC, I believe it is, sorry, and you'll get 10% off your bearings. You can also use that code at Giantmouse. Let me clean this up. And there's a link for that below too, along with a link for everything in the description. Yeah, see that Sharpie sticks in that micarta. It's the one scale material I don't love using it on. Although I think that might just be the micarta. Let's see as it dries up. Yeah, I think that's just the micarta there. Just looks like it. There's your centering. And again, you know, I can get it, but hopefully that breaks in a little too. We could try to put a little bit on the KPL Heavy on the detent ball real quick. See if that does anything. I don't think it's going to do much. The action's good, you know what I mean? It's not bad by any means, so. Oh, great access to it. That's nice. Barely hear it. Now I do this where it just kind of almost, I'll get it to where it kind of pops onto the lock bar. I'm just trying to like transfer as much oil as there would be to the lock face without locking it up. Like I shouldn't have locked it up there. I do this, I just pop the detent ball and then I close it, and then you can take a Q-tip, clean off any of that oil that transferred before you actually let it lock up, and that way you won't have oil that transfers and end up with lock stick. Yeah, it's butter, man. That's really smooth. No play at all. nail, shake. That's pretty much how it was. So, you know, I should start giving a rating on whether it's necessary or not to skiff it. And of course, that's very subjective. But I'd say, in my opinion, this knife does not need skiff bearings. The multi-row bearings, it's awesome that they offer those from factory. I think that's very cool from Giantmouse. So I would say these are fine. I just don't like steel bearings in my knives. Just a thing for me. I should just put these somewhere. I'll keep these. I'll keep them with the knife box maybe, just because they're kind of unique, you know. I usually have, yep. Oops. Keep those there. Yeah, so I don't think I'll do one on the Iona. I think this guy just probably needs to be used, and then it can break in itself. That's usually the best break-in method for a washer knife. But see, look, you can see the big white detent ball in there. So this one was probably done by Fox, and that's probably why you see that. I wonder if we can get a visual in there. Let's see. So it says, it's got the symbol, Vox Anso. I don't see more than that. Oh, under there it says, made in, damn, it's hard to see. I think it just says Italy. I think it just says made in Italy. It doesn't have the LSK in there. So that would tell me it's Fox who made this one. Which, you know, you just have very slight differences from those OEMs in Italy. It's just like China, if you think about it, right? Like if you took a top-of-the-line Riot and a top-of-the-line Bestech, you could tell the difference. But you'd also see a lot of similarities, you know what I mean? It's kind of a similar scenario, but yeah, I like both of these a heck of a lot. So stay tuned for full reviews. Let me know what you guys think down below. I'll stop rambling, but that was the Rio disassembly, reassembly, and Skiff bearing swap. Top of my list, I think, for Giantmouse. So love you guys. Hope you have a fantastic day, and I will catch you later.